Hello, students. I welcome you to the second part of our governance. It has been a bit delay between part 1 and part 2, but let's carry on. So, in the part 2, we'll be discussing some institutions and some apps and portals, right? Some of the institutions, I'll first tell you, some of the institutions, not specifically the institutions, but some of the digital platforms only. But let us consider all in the spirit of governance, right? So, starting with the first one, that is Digital Sky Platform. So Digital Sky Platform, last time we have discussed drone sensors, remember? In the governance first part, we have discussed drone sensors. That is why these are in the revision PPTs. So drone sensors, we have discussed that every drone has a UIN, that is unique identification number, and that is a UAOP, that is a unmanned aircraft operation permit, right? So these two things has to be there. Now Digital Sky Platform says it's a basically app IT platform that you need to tell and upload the time that when you're gonna use it, right? So it will ensure that the your just one second, yes. So it you will seek the permission from the people, from the authority, and they will say okay, then go ahead, and your permission will be granted or rejected, so that your drones do not affect the any other thing in the sky, for example flights or any other movement, right? So this is for Digital Sky Platform, right? No permission, no takeoff. So it will give the permission for the using the your remotely piloted aircrafts. Getting my point? So Digital Sky Platform, you have to go, you have to apply for the permission, and then you will get the permission, whether at positive or the negative, right? So this is Digital Sky Platform. Next is, so remember from the name itself, it's very not able to get what exactly it is. So if the question comes, this will be the way you have to answer. Next is Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulatory Board, PNGRB. So this board is basically institution authority under which ministry? Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, obviously. So it was framed under the this particular act, Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulatory Board Act. So the what are the different functions of the board? First, the interest to protect the interest of the consumer, and secondly, and more importantly, regulation of the refining, processing, storage, and transportation and marketing sale on these things of petroleum products, excluding the production of the crude oil and the natural gas. Okay, so this thing is not there here, excluding the production of the crude oil and natural gas. So if the question comes, obviously this will be a one of the points, right? All these things, institution, I told you, India Airbook stuff, so a bit of boring stuff first of all, right? So remember, first of all, consumer protection, and secondly, these things, regulating the refining, processing, storage, and all these things, excluding the production of the oil, crude, and the natural gas. Next is National Commission for Safai Karmachari, important institution. First of all, it was established as a statutory body under the National Commission for Safai Karmachari Act, but now currently it is not a statutory body. Okay, right? So currently it's a non-statutory body of the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, and its tenure is increased time to time by the government with respect to government resolution. For example, the recently resolution has increased its mandate to the 2022. So they come up with a resolution, they increase it for 3 years. So currently it's a non-statutory body. Why is it so? Only the government can answer, right? Also, this commission has been given the responsibility for the implementation of the Prohibition of Employment as Manual Scavenging and their Rehabilitation Act 2013. So it can take the action under this act. For example, take the suo motu action regarding the non-implementations of the act, making sure that this act is implemented, monitoring its implementation, and all these things. So the National Commission of Safai Karmachari comprises of one chairman who will have the rank and the status of Minister of State, and a secretary, right, who will have the rank of the joint secretary, IS officer or something. So you can see why it is in the news also. The chairman says, wants authority that if you are not ending the manual scavenging, you will face the jail time in the Vijayawada Municipal Corporation, right? For example, it was too much in news when a lot of news in Delhi has come of the death of the sewage people who are cleaning the sewage without any protective gears, right? In Delhi, for example, there have been 38 sewer deaths in the last 2 years, a pathetic condition, I should say. right? Next, move on. Next is National Institute of the Nutrition. It is one of the oldest research institution under ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research. ICMR, again, too much in news because of the COVID-19 case and the testing facility, right? So the stamp was released of National Nutrition Mission in 1918. It was established, and its sanitary year was 2018. So some stamp was released. It is situated in the Hyderabad. From the name itself, National Institute of Nutrition. So what the institution does, obviously, it will do some research and all these things for the nutritional programs for India. And in its current form, it came in 1959, right? For example, in COVID also, they have released some balance guidelines. Next is Intellectual Property Appellate Board. So this appellate board is basically, appellate means appeal board, right? So the minister has clarified that the special leave petitions, we'll discuss special leave petitions in the polity section. So cannot be, if IPAB has given some order, so special leave petition will not be there against this IPAB in the Supreme Court, obviously, right? So this appellate board was established under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. More importantly, in 2019 only a question was asked that whether we have this IPAB or not, right? So we have the IPAB. It is constituted firstly to appeal against the decision of the registrar under the IT Act, Indian Trademark Act. Then subsequently, many of the acts have introduced into its jurisdiction, right? And obviously, it has the component both judicial member as well as the technical member. So just like a tribunal. Okay. So this is what I want to discuss just here. Yes. So firstly, it started with the Trademark Act, and then GI Act, Patents, Copyright, and this Act also, Plant Varieties and Act. Okay, 2018. So its jurisdiction has increased over the years, right? So in 2019 there was a question. So the question itself is from a very different area, right? So plant variety question was asked. So you can see second option. In India, there is no intellectual property appellate board. So option is wrong. So 2 and 3 already went wrong. So answer can be between 1 and C. Right? Okay, we'll discuss the question somewhere else in the science and tech, but I'm just telling you that this question was asked. Next, so that is why I'm just telling you why we need to know the institutions, right? Because 1 to 2 options will be related to the institution somewhere down the line. Next is CARA. So CARA is Central Adoption Resource Authority. So it is under Ministry of Women and Child Development. It's a statutory body under this. So it takes care of it monitors and regulate in-country and inter-country adoption. So adoption process that goes within the country and goes one country to the other, right? So they have celebrated 5 years of the CARA. Okay, so it takes care of the provisions of the Hague Convention on the inter-country adoption, which is government has ratified in 2003, sorry. Okay, so it primarily deals with the adoption of the orphan, abandoned, and the surrender kid children to their associate or recognized adoption agency. So this Hague Convention on the civil aspect of the international adoption, as I told you, it was done in the 1983, and India has signed in 2003. The convention applies the children to the age of 16 years. So please remember that, 16 years is the age. Otherwise, in many of the conventions with respect to child, the age of the child is 18 years. Till 18 years, it is considered a child. In fact, it is one of the problems while we are dealing with the problems of the child, because we do not have a uniform definition. Next is National Startup Advisory Council. So from the name itself, Startup Advisory Council, right? So the idea is, so India, the government has set up this. So why? To advise the government on nurturing of the culture of innovation among the citizen, for overall our idea of to improve the entrepreneurship. When we will see Make in India in the next video. So in the Make in India also, one of the processes improvement is improving the entrepreneurial culture in India. Okay. So who will be the chairman of this? Chairman will be the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, and the convener of the council will be joint secretary. Convener not important, chairman is important. So the chairman will be ex officio member of the ex officio Minister of Commerce and Industry, right? Next is ex officio member, again not very important. So the functions, the same function. What suggestion will be there? So culture of innovation, facilitate public organization to assimilate innovation in public service delivery and all these things. Startups making mobilize the global capital to help startups and all these things. Next is NSE Knowledge Hub. So again, NSE Knowledge Hub is for the assisting. It is a platform developed by the NSE Academy, that is a subsidiary of the National Stock Exchange. So you must have heard of it, National Stock Exchange, right? Stock market. So National Stock Exchange, within themselves, they established a knowledge hub. So it will be for the development of the new age skill. Okay, so new age skill means artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, and all this, right? So it will help the companies in the different sectors such as financial sector, insurance sector, to enhance the skill of their employees. So upskilling of the employees, upskilling and the reskilling. Okay, so this is NSE Knowledge Hub, right? So prepare the future ready talent. We have discussed about how the concept of the modern factory, which came in the Industrial Revolution 1.0, right? Which came in late 1780s, we has converted into the idea of a smart factory, where we required some jobs of the future, which will be driven through the very high-end skills, right? So for that skill development, these initiatives are done. Next is within the, you can see on the same lines, this initiative as well, the institution being developed in the foreign ministry. So this is next, NEST. So NEST means new and emerging strategic technologies under the Ministry of External Affairs. So these technologies are this under the Ministry of External Affairs it is developed. Why? Obviously under the Ministry of External Affairs it is there, then collaboration with the foreign governments. So there will be collaboration with the foreign governments will be there, especially specifically in the fields of 5G and artificial intelligence. Right? So if the question comes, you can be, if you have not read this, you will be confused why the Ministry of External Affairs will be there. Right? So it will hold the responsibility for the matter that involves negotiations at the level like United Nations, G20, which are with respect to this new generation technologies. Next is women help desks. So women help desks are, so they want to set up a women help desk under the police station, under Nirbhaya framework. Okay, they also want to set up anti-human trafficking units in each of the districts, and the funds for this will be given by the Nirbhaya fund, right, under the Ministry of Home Affairs. So what will be women help desks? So women help desks will help the women, right? Many of the problems with the women are not catered when they enter into the police station. They feel a lot of apathy from, or a lot of distance. They do not experience a lot of empathy or compassion that they deserve or they want at that point of time, right? So it will be a gender sensitive desk in the police, right? Okay, rest you can read, there's the same thing. Next is skill build platform, again an initiative of the skill. So it is by the Ministry of Skill Development and IBM, right? So IBM and Skill Build Initiative are trying to build up an initiative. What they will do, they will provide a 2-year advanced diploma in IT, networking, cloud computing, right? Designed and created by the IBM. And this will be offered now at the ITIs, that is Industrial Training Institution and National Skill Training Institutions. Okay. So last year, IBM and they have been doing some stuff together. IBM and Ministry of Skill Development Entrepreneurship, they have developed new collar curriculum. So new collar curriculum means we have discussed, we know that blue collar is there, right? Similarly, new collar means new age technology that I was discussing, the future ready technologies. So skill related to that, right? Next generation skills, right? Okay, let's move. So IBM has already done it for few countries. For example, UK, Germany, France, they have already done. Now they are doing it with India. Skill build platform. Next is Sustainable Development Cell. So this cell is for the coal mining. So question will be Sustainable Development Cell. Then it can be a confusion because it's a bit generic word, institution. Skill is a Sustainable Development Cell. So for what? So it is for the coal mining, right? So what is the idea for sustainable coal mining? So what it will do, it will advise, mentor, plan and monitor mitigation measures taken by the coal company. So what are the steps are taken by the coal company? It will what we say, it will advise and it will monitor that, it will supervise that they are being done in the sustainable manner or not, or they are doing the end thing, that is they are helping the environment or not, or they are helping the people who are affected by it or not, by these things, right? Okay, so it will be acting as a nodal agency, nodal point for the Ministry of Coal in this matter, right? Next is so this is what, right? Next is Digital Communication Commission. So this particular commission, why it is in the news? Because some spectrum for the 5G have been offered to the companies, right? So what we need to read, what about this in institution, what is this Digital Communication Commission? Earlier it was known as the Telecom Commission, right? It consists, in 2018 it was revamped. Why it was revamped? We will also see CEO of Niti Aayog was included in the decision making authority. So who is the chairman? Not the minister, but the secretary. Remember, the commissions means technical body. Now the ministers will not do anything in these commissions and all. They will more or so place, they will be in the supervisory committee, and this does the actual work. So the secretary of DOT is the chairman of it, right? Okay, and also the CEO of the Niti Aayog, the secretary of the economic affairs, secretary of the electronic, because selling of the spectrum is a huge source of revenue for the government and a very important sector, and that is why a lot of interdepartmental or interministerial coordination is required. Secretary of DIPP and promotion and internal trade is there, right? What is responsible for policy making of the Department of Communication, the budgetary exercise of the Department of Communication, right? Implementation of the government policy in the matter concerning the telecommunication. So the 5G spectrum will be done through this. Next and the last institution is Foreign and Regional Registration Office. So from the name itself, you can see that it may be under the Ministry of Ministry of External Affairs, but no, it is under Ministry of Home Affairs, right? What it is, FRRO. So basically, FRRO is when the foreigners living in India need some, they have to register themselves if they want to live in India for, because they have multiple entry visa, so they have to register with FRO, right? If they intend to stay for more than 180 days. So foreigner, if they want to come to India and stay for more than 180 days, they have to register with FRRO. Now earlier they were used to, they have to visit the place, they have to visit the particular institution. Now EFRRO system has been created. So they don't have to go there, they just go on the portal, they just do it paperless, cashless, online. So it's a lot of relief for the foreigners, right? So this is FRRO. So remember, the question can come on FRRO, and especially the tough part will be that which is the under which ministry it is. Now some apps and portals, let us see very quickly. First is Integrated Road Accident Database. So Road Accident Database, it is created by the IIT Madras, right, supported by the World Bank. India has one of the highest deaths related to the road accidents, right? Currently pilot in the 6th state, now later will be extended to the to the other states as well. Okay, right? So for example, in India, over speeding is said to be, in fact last time when motor vehicle was, road safety was one of the important topics for the mains itself, right? So over speeding, one of the predominant cause for the death, along with the other parts. So how it will be, how the database will be created, it's a very interesting process they will do. So when the accident will be taken, the data will be sent to the center, they will analyze of the particular case, they will register and they will seek the reasons for it. If there is reason, anything related to the road technology or road engineering or road build, then it will be rectified, or it will be at least analyzed, or the corrective measures will be seen. If any road design measures can be, it has to be taken, then it will be taken. So that idea is to reduce the deaths by the road, on the road. Next is Disha portal, very important portal, very important from e-governance perspective. What is this? It is under, first of all, Rural Ministry of Rural Development. Overall idea of the Disha board is to a tool for convergence to unite for poverty free India. So it will unite the district collector, ministries, MPs, state government, NGO funding, and will provide them a holistic idea that how many schemes are implemented in which area and which time, right? It will help legislator, local officers to make data driven decision. So they have three filters. For example, you can see, so topic wise, which schemes, sub schemes are there, time wise and geography wise, right? So they will divide the schemes like that. They will present in a portal. Now this is the portal. Now you can see that these are the schemes, around 20 around schemes are registered. Then some timeline is mentioned, and you can see geographical here. So whichever state you want to get the information, you get the information of the particular place, so that you can make a data driven decision. That means this scheme is doing what in this particular state. Getting my point? So this is for available for the MPs and for the different stakeholders. Earlier we have the portals. For example, we have portal for GARV for electricity, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, but these data system operates in silos and there is no interconnection among them. And obviously when the schemes are working in a convergent manner, how can you segregate Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana and let's say Manrega, right? Or social assistance, national social assistance program. So you need a centralized database, and this is what Disha portal provides, right? So currently around the, sorry, not 42 20 schemes, 42 schemes around the 20 ministries are already being monitored by the Disha, right? Okay. Next is Gram Manchitra. So Gram Manchitra is basically a spatial planning application. So just like, for example, we have discussed Bhuvan Panchayat, similar to that under Ministry of Panchayati Affairs. So obviously the use is to facilitate and support GPS users to perform planning at the Gram Panchayat level. So if to Panchayat you plan that, for example, what are the, for example, this is the screenshot I've taken near the Lucknow, near my hometown. So what are the different, you can or zoom in, right? Different areas, you can see what are the infrastructure available. So based upon that, the information, the decision can be taken. Again, an initiative for the data driven decision making. Next is National Cyber Crime Reporting Portals. From the name itself, Cyber Crime Reporting Portal. Cyber crime under which ministry? Ministry of Home Affairs. Many of the portals related to cyber crime is under the which ministry? Home Affairs take care of it. So it will enable the filling of all the cyber crime, specifically focus on the women, children, and child pornography, child sex abuse. These things are again getting a lot of heat, because a lot of problem because of the digital India. As the digital content is increasing and overall moral character of society is not increasing to that extent, we will witness these problems, right? So one of the initiatives is under the Ministry of Home Affairs, Cyber Crime Reporting Portal. It will be integrated with the NCRB also. Next is Swayam. Swayam, very important scheme. Swayam Prabha we have seen in the first video, right? So Swayam is basically everything is same. In fact, they have asked one question on the Swayam also. So one thing you need to know, Swayam 2 have been launched 2.0. The idea is just like Swayam Prabha, from class 9, they provide till post graduation, right? This thing first. Secondly, exams are not free of cost. You have to pay some fees so that you will get ultimately the certificate. So these two things, please remember that. Otherwise, everything is same. So online courses they will do, and some like what Amrita is doing in our online platform, similar to that, right? But they are free platform, and many of the courses of our are paid, right? Next is Gati portal. So Gati portal is similar to Pragati portal. So Pragati portal, we have discussed how the Prime Minister from PMO discusses the interministerial coordination with the help of the Pragati portal. Similarly, Gati portal is to do the same thing, right? To for the grievance redressal for any issue coming to the contractor or any stakeholder. So under Ministry of Road Transport and Highway, created this portal created by NHAI. This will do the same, right? Along the lines of the Pragati portal. For monitoring and implementation of the project, any grievance can be there, it can be solved right at the decision making level, right? Okay. Next is digital locker. So DigiLocker, obviously it was in the news. A question has already been on the DigiLocker. Very transformative change by the government. So it was in the news because one petitioner has questioned the rules of DigiLocker because it does not provide the nomination facility. What does that mean? Because of this rule which has been challenged in the court, the documents would not be accessible by the friend or family if, for example, my documents are there on DigiLocker, and if I die, then who will get to access to those documents? This nomination facility is not there, and that is why it was challenged, right? So what is DigiLocker itself? Let us discuss. It is a part of Digital India. So all our official documents are on the cloud, for example. And now the question, if digital locker will be asked, they will ask tough question. So the question will be asked, which document? So the documents related to central government, document related to state government, document related to education, for example, CBSE, you can see UP, state board, you can see. Then document related to banking and insurance. All these documents can be available on the cloud in an app format, right? So this is DigiLocker. So question was very easy question has been asked in 2016. DigiLocker sometime in news. Which of the following statements are correct? DigiLocker offered by the government Digital India, right? It allows for you to access your e-document irrespective of physical location, right? So very easy question. Now the question will be asked. It will be on the tough line. Next is Money App by RBI. So Money App by RBI is for the visually challenged people, visually impaired people to identify the currency notes, because many people have said that they are facing problems, especially the notes which are launched after the demonetization, 500 and 2000 notes, right? So it will help the visually impaired people to identify the denomination of the currency notes, right? Okay. So when they take the camera towards it, it will tell, it gives a audio output, obviously audio output in Hindi or English, whether it is in genuine or not. Once you install it, it works in the offline mode also, right? Okay. By the RBI Money App. Then next is Rah app. So Rah app is for the Rah means a path. So this app is developed by NIMHANS, that is National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences, very flagship or very good institution. It's an autonomous institution under Ministry of, for example, it under Ministry of Family Health and Welfare, right? Health and Family Welfare, I'm sorry, yes. So what is Rah app is for? This is for the mental health, right? It will provide information to the public for the mental health care professionals and mental health care centers, right? So the information, mental health, very of the many aspects of mental health, because mental health again remains a big stigma in our society, right? It is available on the Androids and the iOS platform. So many of the findings, for example, by NIMHANS, that around 14% of India's population has different mental disorder, but because very less of them, for example, only 10% of them require immediate attention, but very less people get the attention, and because of the stigma attached, they are not able to share the problems they have. Okay, right? So this is rapid action for the adolescent health. In fact, it is said after COVID-19, many of the issues related to the mental health will gonna increase. Why is it so? Because because we are locked down, right? First time ever, many of the people are experiencing to stay in home for such a long durations. So they will be feeling a lot of mental health issues. Okay, so it's, as I told you, NIMHANS is a Apex Center for the Mental Health and the Neuroscience. It is operates autonomously under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Next is documentation identification number. So basically, this is very easy. This identification number will be given, and it is developed by the CBIC, sorry, Central Board for Indirect Taxes. Then this document identification number will be issued to the directors who will sign the particular company's return. For example, a company file its return, right? So, for example, a company file its return. So the DIN will be given to the director, and when he'll take the signature, it will be under his signature, that this particular signature has come from this particular director. So director signing such returns of the company will be mentioning his DIN number under his signature. So it will lead to a lot of transparency and accountability in that indirect tax administration, because it will go for the accountability of that person that he has signed. So ultimately, if any problem will be there, he will be held accountable to it. Okay. Okay, so with this, I think we finish our discussion. Let us quickly revise. First is Digital Sky platforms. Digital Sky platform for the unmanned air vehicle or your remotely piloted aircrafts. So you have to take permission on these IT platform. Then this Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulatory Board, right? Two of the tasks that we have discussed. What excludes it? The production of the crude oil, Then National Commission for Safai Karmachari, a non-statutory body but with the authority over Manual Scavenging Act. Then National Institution of Nutrition under ICMR. Okay, next is Intellectual Property Board. Intellectual Property Appellate Board, 2019 question also, that it exists and it takes care of the many of the acts. Then CARA under Ministry of Women and Child Development. Then National Startup Advisory Council for the advising the government over the different aspects to promote culture of innovation and entrepreneurship. Then NSC Knowledge Hub, okay, and by the NSC National Stock Exchange. Then next under the Ministry of External Affairs. Then finally Women Help Desk, Skill Build by IBM, New Collar Jobs, New World we have seen, New Job Curriculum, sorry. Then Sustainable Development Cell for coal mining, making sure that coal mining remains sustainable, the efforts taken by the coal mining companies. Then Digital Communication Commission for the different aspects of the telecommunication policy, its budget, its allocation of the 5G, doing the auction thing. FRRO by under the Ministry of Home Affairs. Then Integrated Road Accident Database with the help of the World Bank, IIT Madras doing so. Disha dashboard, very important, under Ministry of Rural Development, and what on which basis it will provide the information. 42 schemes, 20 ministries, on the basis of time, on the basis of geography, on the basis of the topic. Then Gram Manchitra, then Cybercrime Reporting Portal under Ministry of Home Affairs. Swayam, a very specific information I have added. Gati Portal, on the basis of the Gati Portal becomes important for this year. Gati Portal, Money App, and Raha, keep in mind these three. DigiLocker, obviously very easy, and not, I don't think it will question will come again. And lastly, we have discussed documentation identification number, and with this we finish a relatively long session today, right? So next one will be we'll be discussing some flagship schemes and some state governments initiative, right? So let us see in the next class. Thank you everyone. Bye bye.